Hey, how you doing? I'm going to do a motion project with you today, and I'm going to do some textures, some reflective textures, even though it's not real reflections. You just have to use a correct texture in order to give that effect, because you can't do that in Motion 5. So some of the things that you're going to need, if you just Google search for a metal texture 2, like this, metal _ texture 2 _2, you'll find this, and just a carbon or a white background, whatever, just as an example for the floor, right? So I'm going to create a new project, 30 frames per second, and I'm going to click my fit window, and then I'm going to make some text, and I'm just going to call it effects. So I'm going to do it quite quick today. I'm going to ramp up the size using my HUD. Remember, if you don't know how to use the HUD, just press F7 on your keyboard, or click this little button right here. Turns the HUD on and off. I'm going to click my group and move the word effects just up into the middle like this. I'm then going to add a camera with this this little button down here, create a camera, and I'm going to switch to 3D. Once I add a camera, with my controls up here, I can pan the camera, orbit the camera, or I can zoom in, dolly cam, up and down, right? So I'm going to sort of pan the camera around and then orbit the camera, so I'm just going to look above it, just over the top of it like this. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my text and I'm going to lift it up, because now I'm going to make a floor, right? So I'm just going to drag one of these textures. Shall we use the white texture? Yeah, let's use the white. I'm going to use a white texture, just a white background texture, right? And I'm going to drag that onto the floor like that, and then I'm going to move it onto the view like that, and then I'm going to move it back and just make a floor with this. Tell you what, white was quite bad initially because my text is white, isn't it? What a douchebag. So I can't really see. So I'm going to do my text. I'm just going to go to my text, and I am going to go to, I'm just going to change the colour of it quickly, just so I can see it. Doesn't matter what colour it is, because we'll change it again in a minute. So I'm happy with this, and if I sort of orbit the camera or dolly, or orbit the camera or pan the camera, my effects, or the word effects, stays on top of the white background. And the reason I've used white background is because on my light, I'm going to change the colour on my light in a bit. So okay, let's now make this effects, or the word effects, into 3D. The way we do that, remember, if you don't know already, because I'm going to go through this quite quickly, go and watch my 3D text. I'll put the link on the screen right now. So I'm going to go replicator. And then on replicator, I'm going to go click the 3D button. I'm going to go box, and I'm, like I said, I'm working through this quite quick. Rows 1, ranks 1. Sorry, columns 1, rows 1, ranks. I'm going to make that 120, and then I'm going to drag the size down a little bit. Cool. I'm going to go back to my camera and just orbit over that a little bit, and then go back to my replicator and drag the size down a little bit, so it's sort of 3D. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that 3D effect. It's a little bit bigger. It fills the screen. Then go to my replicator again. Sorry, my text effects again, and then I'm going to go to style. I'm going to go to outline. I'm going to select an outline, and the face of my text, I'm going to keep, the face of my text, I'm going to make a gradient, and I'm going to make it a burnt ember gradient. Now the reason I'm making this gradient, I'll tell you that in a minute, why I'm making this gradient. So my outline, I'm going to make a colour, right? Or I'm going to use this metal text on my outline. So what I want to do, drag my metal text, and you'll see it'll come into my view window. But I'm just going to deselect the group, so it removes the metal texture. So it's still there, but you can't see it because I've deselected it. I'm then going to go back to my text, and with this outline here, I'm going to drop that down and go to texture. Now this texture, it's going to need to be a image, right? So the image, I've already got it in here. I'm going to get the metal texture image. Wow, I just clicked off the effects. Get the metal texture image and drag it and drop it into this box here, and this will give me this metal texture effects type view here, right? So then if you look already, the reason I've used this burnt ember gradient on the face is because it's burnt like this. So you use, if you look here, look, you use a lighter colour in the center and a darker color on the outer, and that's exactly what this text does. So when you're panning the camera, it gives, sorry, not orbiting the camera, panning the camera, it gives the effect that it's reflecting, right? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to add a light. So now you will see with my light effects, it gives the effect, let me just turn the intensity up of the light, it gives the effect that it's reflecting, where in actual fact it's not reflecting, it's just the colours that I've used. Let me just change the colour slightly on this light, give it like a, I don't know, like an off smoky type colour, and let me, with the light, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop this, I've got my HUD selected, right, so F7 on your keyboard or click this button here. I'm going to drop this down to spot. So now it's a spotlight, right? I'm going to move the light back a little bit, and I'm going to turn down the cone angle like this. So now our word is in a spotlight as such. So what I'm going to do just for this demonstration, I'm going to change my view down to 50% just so I can move this light quite nicely. Okay, and I'm going to just move it in a little bit. And I'm going to turn the cone angle down a little bit more. I'm just going to get this sort of view right here, and then I'm going to keyframe that, and I'm going to move my timeline right across to the to 8 seconds, and I am going to keyframe this over here. I'm happy with that. So I've keyframed the light twice, and then I am going to share that, export the movie, and we'll see what it's done. But you notice that the what I've done is with the light. Yeah, so with the light, I've not used a reflective texture because you can't really do that in Motion 5. I've used a texture that's gone from dark to light, which will give the effect of a reflective texture. So I hope this helps you out. Please enjoy the preview at the end, and I'll catch you all later. Any questions? Leave them in the comments below. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Shit.